Hey, it's Jala from the Greenlight EcoPod, and I'm excited today to introduce you to some of my plants, or plants as they say here. I try not to take on an English accent because it seems pretentious as an American, but there are a couple of things that I do say because they just sound so silly when everyone else is saying plants and tomatoes, and I say plants and tomatoes. So I'll introduce you to some of my plants today. Over here in our beautiful southern facing window, we have most of the edible plants. So this is a green bean, which they call fine beans here. This is another little one. Can you believe this one I only planted like 2 weeks ago? And here we've got tomatoes, more. These are incredible, and I'll probably do a separate video on how to grow these. Just little green onions from the store. You just use a couple inches of the bottom and it makes more scallions. Amazing. And here we have little rosemary twigs that were from my friend's rosemary bush. They're living and doing okay, but they're not growing, so I'm hoping in the spring they might do something. And here we have a beautiful English heather plant. I saw this when I was out and about, and I was very intrigued because it's so English. This little palm plant was in my first flat. It was just abandoned in the yard. So I have taken it in, and after 1 year of loving care, it's finally grown this nice fan that's new, and it's got these little babies coming out of it. So I'm very happy. Here we have a begonia. I bought this from our local garden center, and it's done really well. Mainly I got this one because I was interested in propagation. So these little friends were made literally by taking leaves off of the big one and plunking them in dirt with a little bit of rooting compound. And they are doing great. This one is super funny. It's an aloe plant that was given to me by one of Mike's coworkers, and it's such a funny shape. I haven't really been able to find a pot for it. And I just plunked it out here, and it is like a month later, and it is loving life with no pot at all. So now I'm almost kind of afraid to know what to do with it. But I guess this really shows that aloes thrive on neglect. If any of you are aloe experts, please contact me and tell me what to do. This is a card that my mom sent me for Rosh Hashanah, though. So sweet. This guy is a nice big palm. I'm hoping it'll do nothing but getting bigger. It's one of the first things I did when I got here was I purchased a couple of plants. I even got this pretty yellow pot, and it has been doing just fine. This guy, it's just a nice little geranium that I got from the supermarket, and it's thriving in here, so I'll just let it go do its thing. This one, my peace lily, this is the first thing that I bought, almost the first thing that I bought when I got to this country, because I figured having a nice plant makes it feel like home. So this one has been doing just fine, and it is sitting right next to a piece of volcanic rock that my son brought back from Iceland. So they're quite happy. This one, English ivy, is so prevalent here because it's England, I guess. It really thrives in this environment, and so I was walking along one day and I saw someone had cut their English ivy and just left it in a big pile. So I grabbed these, and they should root and make a really pretty ivy plant. I have had a couple of these that have done super well. Up here is the succulent corner. I put them up here to try to keep them out of too much light because this little snake's tongue doesn't like it, and this one doesn't either. But this little tiny one has been making babies, and it seems to be pretty happy. So mostly I put them up here to remind myself not to water them too often. Those are some of my favorite little green friends. I'm sure I'll keep adding more because I just love them. And I would love to hear about your plant adventures. You know, a lot of it is just being willing to try things and hope that everything works, but you can also find a lot of information on the internet to help your little friends along. So please do drop me a line at Greenlight EcoPod on Instagram and let me know what kind of plants you're growing and what your experiences have been. Bye!